knowledge being spread. It's like warm butter across the bread. Smooth, I know you like that. Flow with the grain and don't fight that. You want righteous love, you found the right match. With Marty McFly, they on the right track. Yeah, gotta dig the dirt to plant the seed. Spread roots till you sprout like a tree. Doni Jones, she the one you wanna see. Doni Jones live, this is where you wanna be. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live.
Doni Jones live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady with Marty McFly.
Oh, one of the few times Donnie got me. This is a wonderful day. Yes, I am that guy, Marty McFly. And to answer your question, yes. Anyway.
Please tell me real quick. We letting y'all in on some inside stuff. Please tell me the producer is able to cut what I just said.
I will pray that he can. I know that ladies and gentlemen that are listening right now, there's a lot of things that goes on in between breaks that sometimes we can air, sometimes we can't.
Yes.
And every once in a while,
airing that one.
Every once in a while, there's some
like,
stuff
well,
that's like, wow. But anyway, Donnie,
yes.
this is a time that we have to kind of talk to our people about some entrepreneur type situations.
Yes.
Things that go on in your business, because we all have different kind of businesses, and we all want our businesses to be successful.
Yes.
But with each one of them, we have our ups and our downs, our valleys, and our hills. But I guess one of the questions for you, because you've had this successful tree company for years.
Yeah.
And throughout the course of your career, you've had those valleys.
Yeah.
You've had those times where it's tough, but how have you been able to truthfully manage through those, I guess, troubled seasons?
Well, it's funny. When we were on break, you used a term that stuck with me. Well, it's still, I've heard you use it before, but a lot of times, whenever, we're having a challenge, obviously I own a tree service here in Atlanta, Georgia, Don's Tree Service. Mm-hmm. Whenever there's storms outside, there's opportunity for us to do better.
Oh, yes.
There's opportunity for us to make more money. There's opportunity for people to start thinking about our company because there's a need there, because when there's a storm, trees fall or whatever.
Right.
And I think about that in my life and in my business, because a lot of times when there's a storm, the last thing you want to be is outside. The last thing you want to do is get up and go. And sometimes during the storm, even if you can't necessarily go outside, that's a good time for you to be working on yourself. That's a good time for you to be working on your business. So for me, going through the storm, challenges, issues in business, things that are challenging, things that are upsetting for me, it's a good time for me to step back and reevaluate what I'm doing, see what I'm doing right, see what I'm doing wrong, see some things that maybe I don't even realize I could be doing better, so that I don't wind up in the same position again. So I think part of it is using that season to reevaluate. Now, that doesn't mean that during that season, I don't have days where I'm like, oh Lord, what am I going to do? And I think that's part of it, though. But I do listen to a lot of the motivational people and people that are visionaries and leaders, and they talk about how you have to keep a good attitude through your ups and downs, and you have to forward your own and fight the good fight. But there are days as a business owner where you do go, what am I doing?
Yeah.
How did I wind up in this situation again? Or how did I wind up, maybe it's not even again, how did I wind up in a situation this bad? But I truly believe that whatever situation that you wind up in, there's a blessing in it.
Oh, yeah.
And so for me, I've had to step back and go, okay, what is the blessing in this? It's either going to be a blessing or it's going to be a lesson. And so that's what I've had to do in this season is, because in the tree care industry, we can either be really, really busy in the winter, or we can slow down, And then for us, we've done a lot of commercial work over the last few months, and a lot of times with commercial work, they don't always pay immediately.
Right.
There's a little bit of a lag.
That's one thing that I love and don't like about corporate checks. Because it takes 30 days for them to come in, and people that don't done the work is like, well,
exactly. You still got to pay them.
I can't call corporate.
You still got to pay them.
You said something that I wanted to piggyback on that I'm trying to remember what it was now. You know how you have a thought and it kind of goes in and out. But you said something about patterns, about, of course, going through the patterns and knowing that the industry kind of goes through patterns and stuff like that. Yeah. That's what I wanted to say. There is a great book that I think I've said before on the show, Who Moved My Cheese?
Yes.
Who Moved My Cheese is a very powerful book that talks about, in a sense, your industry, your business. At the time when, it's about these rats that are sitting around a big block of cheese.
Yeah.
And when they realize that the cheese is not always going to be there, you have one rat that sits there and just cries.
Yeah.
Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. One that would try to venture out a little bit and come back, but just wanted to always be there. Yeah. And you have another one that puts on his shoes and runs looking for another cheese.
Another piece of cheese,
cheese. And in that same scenario in our life, in our businesses, we got to always be prepared to look for the other cheese. And not get settled at, okay, well, right now, yes, it's raining. Yes, it's during the storms, a lot of times those opportunities.
That's right.
The rain changes the atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's funny. I was talking to the producers earlier before we started, and they were kind of discussing about, a lot of times it's always raining when we're coming out here. Yeah. And, we were saying that sometimes that rain actually clears the atmosphere, clears the trees, and it makes things look a little bit differently, and even though it might be the same tree or the same leaf, with it being wet and moist, it looks different.
It looks different,
And some of those same clients that are out there, well, now the atmosphere is a little bit different. Maybe they're different too.
Yeah, well,
we might can knock on that door now.
And that's what happens. A lot of times people, and once again, guys, the advice that we give or the information we give, if you want to take it as advice, is things that we're dealing with ourselves, but they're hopefully practical things that you could use in your business. And also, if it is something that you can use in your life and your business, give us a call because we do like the feedback. 1-888-349 Donnie, 1-888-349 Donnie. Also, when this gets uploaded to YouTube, we want you to comment on it.
Yes, like, share, and subscribe.
Subscribe. We've got a lot of comments on that. The one we did with Wanda Smith. So you can always go back and look at some of our other videos.
Kumo D, I gotta say hi to you.
Yeah. But going back to that, it's like, you have these seasons and you look at things a little bit differently, but you got to realize your customers do too. So just because they said no in one season doesn't mean they'll say yes in this season. Doesn't mean that they won't say yes in this season. And that's
knocking on the door.
You keep knocking on those doors. You keep making those phone calls. And I think whenever there's challenges, you start thinking, well, the stuff I'm doing isn't working. It is working.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't understand that those hard things that we do, or the mundane things, because sometimes it's not the hard things, it's the mundane, everyday things. It's when you're doing the follow-up calls, but you're not really booking a bunch of appointments.
Successful people, their thing is their habits.
Yeah.
They're doing the same thing every day.
Rituals, and routines.
Right. They do that same thing every day. It's not major stuff, but it's like just the small things every day.
Every day.
Even if it's just posting. If it's just, singing out your prayers or whatever you need to do every day for your business, the calls.
Yeah.
You have to do that every day and a commitment. If you look at, I've been watching, on TikTok, different things come up or whatever. And every once in a while, it has a thing about a Kobe Bryant, and his work ethic.
Yes.
About he wanted to be the best. So he was always in the gym, even in the off season. He was in the gym working out. Early in the morning, the first one at practice, the last one to leave.
Yeah.
Because I want to be the best.
Yeah.
And if you apply that to your industry, to your business, saying, okay, I want to be the best.
Right.
So why don't I get up early in the morning?
Yeah.
Start on my business.
That's right.
What can I do to improve it? What can I do
to improve it? But also going back to them basics. A lot of times we do need to improve. We do need to upgrade. But we don't even do simple stuff like, did you follow up on your calls?
That's right.
From the previous week?
Right.
Have you reached out to the customers that you already have to stimulate new business? Like, for example, my goal is to always do at least a minimum of 25 calls a day.
Right.
If I look back on our season, Can I say that I did that every single day? No.
Nope.
But
No.
what happens when you start doing that consistently? You build your funnel. I'm talking to salespeople right now and business
Right.
people. You start building a funnel of people that will start to pop like popcorn. And if you do that, even in the season when you're not busy, you're building up.
You're planting.
You're planting
planting right now.
a seed.
Yep.
And that's what we're doing right now. We're planting
Planting
seeds. We want to be
seeds.
of value
Right.
to you. And if this is of value to you, once again, give us a call, 1-888-349-DONNIE. That's 1-888-349-3664, because we do like to hear from you. And then if you're on YouTube, put a little comment up there, and then like, share, and subscribe. So,
Yep.
you know.
So with that, I almost got choked up. What else?
cry.
What else can you say? In the season, what else can you do to prepare yourself? I guess, or doing the.
I'm gonna just be factual, because I know we talk a lot of try to talk about things that are general, but for any business person out there, or it doesn't have to be business, any person, save some money.
Oh yeah.
Like right now in this season, people are talking. They say the percentage of people saving right now is minuscule. Like the percent of money that they're saving. And right now, if you can save and invest because the crash is coming, like something is coming that
Crash
does
is
not
always
look
coming.
really, like something that does not look great is coming.
That's
And
my
you'll be
entire
able to
life.
buy assets for nickels on the dime, nickels on the dollar, like 10 cents on the dollar. You'll be able to buy things that are of value, because people are going to go through some challenging times. But if you don't have the resources to buy, you won't be in position. So right now, put yourself to be in position to take advantage of what's coming. And if investing is not something you're ready to do, then just put yourself financially in position where you've got at least 3 to 6 months of savings for a rainy day. And I'm talking, a lot of the stuff we talk about, we're talking to ourselves too.
These ain't
Because
jokes.
we have to maintain also.
Yeah.
We have businesses to run also. So if you ask me specifically what people could be doing, setting money aside
Yeah.
and working on your credit.
Set
Set money aside and work on your credit.
Say, poor people, excuse me, poor people get money to pay bills. They say middle class get money to get credit. Rich people get money to make money.
That's
they
good
take
stuff.
their money and they invest it so it'll make money for
That's
them.
right.
And
And another thing, right before, because we're going to go to break real quick.
Yep.
I've mentioned a book before, The Science of Getting Rich. I will probably start mentioning that book every single show, because I do want people to get a hold of that book, The Science of Getting Rich and Think and Grow Rich. But we're going to take a quick break. I am Donnie, the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Marty McFly. You sent me a good little text the other week about a podcast or something about, doing your own thing. But we'll talk about that. Talk about that on the other side, because I think it'll be time to take a break. Yeah.
It's time.
All right.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live.
Now when the weather starts to change, the rents start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don Street Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, who a tree specialist call?
Don Street
If
Service.
the trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don Street Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one fall on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
One of the things that frustrates me to no end is when I call a company and as soon as it picks up, it says, please hold. And your approximate hold time is 4 to 5 to 10 minutes. It frustrates me because I need some help. But then I was wondering about when we get on our knees and pray, does the spiritual angel kind of picks up and says, I hear your prayer, but please hold for the operator. And it might take you 4 or 5 days or 4 or 5 months. But knowing that the operator will pick up and handle your problem. I think in those times, God is trying to tell us to just hold on for the blessing. Hi, I'm Pastor Marty Ringer, and I'd like to invite you to join us each and every Sunday morning at St. Mark Lutheran Church. Now, you might not be in the East Point or the Atlanta area, but you can always go online at stmarklutheranchurch.org and check out any of our services. I would love to just spread the good news of Christ to you. If you're here in the Atlanta area, our address is 4137 Washington Road in East Point, right down from the Atlanta airport. And if you're not around the ATL, you can always log on at stmarklutheranchurch.org. And there you can be a part of any of our worship services. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you understand this one message. God is trying to tell you to hold on until your blessing comes. And may God's grace and peace be with you.
Hey, this is Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. And as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Now, for those of you that don't know, I basically started a tree service with $43 and a dream right here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Now, during my journey, I've definitely been blessed to see the mountaintop, but I've also been in some rough valleys. And in my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I share my experience. My book really is a real woman's journey to building a happy, healthy, and successful life. But I gotta be honest with you, I read self-help books and I listened to audio programs about success, and I was still having difficulty achieving success in my life until I really got a hold of certain principles that made a difference. In my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I get very real and raw about what I did to build my company, my family, and my life. So please go check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.DoniJonesLive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I am Doni the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Marty. Well, Marty McFly. I got to say it right. You know, Marty.
Yes, Marty McFly.
Yes, Marty
Yay.
McFly.
Those storms are just a moving in. I love it. That is just
You are
awesome.
evil. Even though I appreciate it, but that's you know, when you actually rejoice at somebody else's downfall, that just it's sad. But I know what you do. I'm saying, so I understand.
I'm not rejoicing at my downfall.
That's your downfall.
I mean, I don't have a downfall, but
I guess you know it's like a mortician. You know, they get excited when people pass. You know, because it's more business.
Oh, I
for
see
them.
what you're saying.
You
No,
know.
I don't like people's trees to fall on their house.
No.
I want them to fall on the ground.
But I guess that's the business. I'm saying a mechanic kind of gets happy when somebody's car breaks down.
Yeah, that kind of
It's
thing.
like, yay,
Yeah, that
happy.
kind of thing.
Not really happy for you, but
Yeah.
I need to check.
Yeah.
You know, so I could see that. But anyway, Doni.
Well, as a segue, what I was going to say,
Okay.
I was going to ask you, you know, we do talk about the practical aspects of surviving a storm or going through the storm or benefiting from our storms in life. But I also think there's a spiritual aspect to that, you know?
Oh, see, he's about to make me
And
cuss.
so, why was I going to make you cuss?
Because I wasn't prepared today.
No, yes, you are. You're always, you're a
No.
pastor. So I was saying, you know, a lot of times whenever I'd have my challenges, I reach out to you.
Yeah.
And you'll, you know, say these profound things, or you'll have an analogy that really works, you know, for whatever season that I'm calling you about. Even if it's something really great, you'll have this great analogy. So I would say over the last couple of months, you know, when you're going through your challenges, your ups and downs, trucks running, trucks not running, whatever, customers paying, not paying, whatever. I just was like, oh my gosh, he needs to take those analogies and put them in a book, you know, and you need to, you know, publish that book. But what I wanted you to do is focusing back on the storm. Some of the, just maybe you can help the people with some of the analogies that you've shared with me that was so encouraging. And
I don't remember them actually. I'm saying, and I'm not trying to be funny. Here's the thing. It's not like when me and you talk, I don't have a book that I'm writing stuff down. It's like, oh, that's a good one. I'm going to keep that. Oh, well, you know, let me try this one on Doni. You know, if I use these words, then that's going to be, you know, I'm going to write that one down. You know, and usually it's a time that me and you just kind of talk. And in that moment, it's like, you know, Doni, this is what.
Marty, you do know this is our job, right? We're supposed to have content.
No. I'm saying it's like this to start off what you were saying earlier, as a pastor to a certain degree, I'm always kind of prepared with.
Yeah, you're always
if
prepared.
Me and you are, if me and you're talking one-on-one and it's a real situation of life.
Yeah.
I can talk
you
about
just
that.
be flowing,
But
man.
then, when it's like, well, here's a spiritual moment.
Yeah.
Give it to us.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's say we're gonna act real quick, guys. We got this. We've never done this on camera before. Hey, Marty. Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hey, Marty. How are you doing?
Who's this?
It's Donnie. I know I probably don't sound like myself because I'm a little down right now.
Okay, now we go. No, it ain't making me feel good. Stop.
And I don't know what to do. What should I do?
No,
I feel
that don't feel right. Stop.
Okay.
You just trying to use a baby voice and everything. Like, no, that don't. That don't.
What kind of voice do I use when I call you?
Let's not. My wife might be listening.
What?
Here's the thing. We were talking about.
That was my depressed voice. That didn't sound depressed.
No, I know you're depressed. That ain't your depressed voice. Your depressed voice starts with a laugh.
Yeah, that is so true. Oh my God. Okay.
But anyway, people that are listening, here's a quick thing. Okay. This week, one of the things that we're talking about in my church this weekend is about this famous conversation between Jesus and a guy named Nicodemus. All right. Nicodemus was a guy who was like a Pharisee that came to Jesus and, was like, I know what I've heard about you doing all these miracles or whatever. He's like, how could somebody be like that? And Jesus says this thing about that everybody hears, you need to be born again.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, how can a man be born again if he's old or whatever?
Right.
And he's like, you got to be born again with your spirit and by water and spirit and stuff like that. But I want to put this to us as individuals in our business too.
Okay.
Sometimes our businesses are going through that slump.
Yes.
And sometimes during that slump, it's time for us to reevaluate ourselves. And sometimes it's time for us to be born again in our industry. Born again in the way that we handle our business, the structure of it. Because right now, if it's in a dormant time, then it might be some time to change some things. So it's always a time to reevaluate ourselves. And sometimes we as people in our companies, well, it's time to be born again. And what that kind of means is, let's rethink the way that we've been doing business.
Yes.
How have we been treating our customers?
Preach.
How have we been treating our neighbors in the biblical aspect? How have we been treating ourselves? And how have we been thinking about, because one thing is to act, but then how are we processing the act? If a client hasn't paid you in a week, do you call them and cuss them out?
Yes.
Or
I'm just kidding.
I'm saying you can, but you realize that is
You
no
want to
longer
keep the relationship.
they're no longer going to be your client, and everybody has their ups and downs.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's a thing of evaluating yourself.
Yeah.
And in a sense, I would say make sure that you're born again. Especially during the dormant times.
That's right.
And sometimes in the positive side, times too, because you can evaluate even your salespeople, because you might have to evaluate your sales team and say, you know what, that spirit that salesperson has, that's not what the company is representing.
Absolutely.
So young man, you're going to be born again. Okay,
Yes,
you're going to have a new life tomorrow. That's
It
not
may
connected
not be
with
here,
us,
but
right? You're going to be born again.
Right.
And we have to do that too.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's really with growth, and we were talking about one of our friends that is in the same kind of industry that we're in, who does podcasts and is on TV. And sometimes when you get that evaluation, and it's not a good evaluation, well, sometimes you might need to look at your show and say, well, you know what? It might need to be born again.
That's
what can
so
I
good.
do differently to maybe engage people?
Yeah.
We talk about this all the time. We've been doing this show for some years now.
Yeah.
And we do look at our numbers and everything. And every once in a while we say, well, do we need to reevaluate some stuff?
Yeah.
Do we need to be out in the field more?
Yeah.
In the field more? Do we need to have more guests? But it's those things that we're always trying to evaluate.
That's true.
So we do that with our business.
Yeah.
Do that in your personal life too.
That's right. And in your business life. Well, that's what you mean, business.
First.
Okay, yeah. I'm sorry. Listening is a skill.
Right. But so in a nutshell, be born again, and not just thinking about it in the biblical aspect. You
and
do
I think that's what people do. When you think about being born again, people only think about it in the biblical aspect of it. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, it's always come back to a renewing of the mind.
Exactly.
Like it just your mind, your body, your spirit. Because a lot of times when people are going through things, they're so focused on what they're going through, they're not doing one of the main things that you have to do to attract what you want, which is to be grateful. You know, and sometimes people are like, well, you know, with everything I'm going through, how can I be grateful? Well, you always have something to be grateful for. Right. And I remember once we were on the phone, right? And it started off as a joke. Like I was like, well, you know, I'm grateful I got good customers. Well, you know, I'm grateful I got my toes. Well, you know, I'm grateful the sun is shining. You know what? And all of a sudden, when I started, then I just kept going. And it's like, I felt better.
Right.
You know? And literally within an hour, all of a sudden, you know, customers started doing what they were supposed to be doing. And I was like, yay.
I remember one statement during that time. I said, don't get too busy that you're not successful.
Ooh.
You know, and that's a thought of, you know, realizing what you have and being grateful of the success of family and your daughter and everything that was
That's
going
right.
on.
Yeah.
And it's like, just take that time to be thankful.
Yeah.
You know, just to be thankful. So,
well, you know what I'm thankful for?
What's that?
I am thankful for the amazing people that listen to our show.
Yes.
I'm thankful for the people that comment on our show.
I thank the people that help us do this show.
Yes, I'm definitely thankful for the people that help do our show. And actually, I want to give out a shout to Paramortal.
Yes.
Paramortal Studios. They do an incredible job.
Yes.
So if you guys have seen us up level our visuals, which we still want to do something with that background. That's just my opinion. Well,
how are you gonna hate?
I'm not hating. They actually did an incredible job. I'm just weird like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, they did an incredible job. So if you guys are in the Atlanta area, you guys should check them out. They have an incredible studio, great equipment, great people to work with, and So I just wanted to give them a shout out. But seriously, man, I'm grateful for you too.
I am grateful for you.
You know, and it's a blessing to be able to do what we do what we love. And what you guys may not realize, like he said, these are not jokes. We actually run businesses outside of this. So when you get advice from us, you're not getting advice from some people that are theoretically doing something.
Oh, no.
You are getting advice from people that see customers every day.
And got bill collectors every day.
I'm going to hurt you, Marty.
This is real, though.
Marty, be nice. So, you know, our goal is to be of service. Our goal is to be a blessing.
And to be real.
That's right. To be real, to be a blessing, to spread love, kindness, and good information. And hopefully that'll transmit over the air.
Yep.
You know.
So right now we're going to transmit off the air because we got to go.
We do have to
much
go.
Much love. You're listening to Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones, and I am that guy, Marty McFly. And
see ya.
See ya.
Next week. Be blessed.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Now when the weather starts to change, renters start to fall, who you gon' call?
Don Street Service.
It's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak for a tree specialist call.
Don Street Service.
Trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gon' call?
Don Street Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one fall on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones.